present things that are relevant to the guidance world. Tonight's topic is elective course selection forum, where the teachers are going to speak about their courses that they instruct, and they are all electives for use with making your schedule. And a lot of times filling up those electives is very, very difficult because people don't really understand what is the meat and potatoes behind these electives. So we have a fairly large panel tonight. I'm going to ask the panel to try to keep it anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. I know some of you have a lot to talk about, so do your best. We want to keep the program moving. We will also have a question and answer period at the end of the program. If you have any questions during the program, please feel free to message them in the message box, and we will answer them at the conclusion of the program. All right, without any further ado, a regular to our Wednesday night program, a star who needs no introduction to speak about human growth and socialization. We are very fortunate to have Miss Jackie Adelizi. Miss Adelizi, let's hear it.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Mr. Stratton. So I'll keep this nice and short for everybody. My name is Miss Adelizi. I teach human growth. What is that? It's psychology. Okay, it's a psychology class, kind of like an intro to psych. It is really a great class to explore the mind, the study of the mind and how the mind works. And it's really a class about self-exploration. It's a lot of fun. It's a college prep level class. But really the class is geared towards everybody. If you are an AP student and you're just looking for something to explore, this could be a great class for you. If you're maybe a general studies student looking to learn about some stuff about yourself, this is a great class for you. We do a lot of self-assessments in there. You know, we did some stuff on self-esteem to figure out, you know, what is your self-esteem like? What are some things that you can do to boost your self-esteem? We do a lot of analyzing growth from like birth to childhood to adulthood. So you get to figure out all the ways that your parents messed you up and made you a wonderful and crazy person. And it's a lot of fun. You know, it really is. This is a great class to take if you have any interest in studying psychology. Psychology is the kind of thing where it can help you in any kind of career. And in fact, we just did a unit on career exploration where we did some career assessments. Kids got to do some exploration about who they are as a person and what careers best match them. So like I said, if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. Unfortunately, I can't stay for the whole thing, but I would be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And like I said, it really is a fun class. And you really learn a lot, not just about psychology, but about yourself. And I see my friend Chelsea on here. Hi, Chelsea. She's in my class. I saw Sabrina on here before too. She's one of my stars. Hey.
Love your hat.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, Bright Star, it's a country musical, so I felt like I had to wear my hat from Nashville, Mr. Martin, you know, representing over here. Yes, hey, Mrs. Lawrence. Awesome. So like I said, guys, if you have any questions for me about the class, please reach out. I try and keep it light and fun. You know, I understand that as seniors and juniors, you have a lot of other classes that have heavy workloads. This is not one of those classes. Okay, this is the kind of class where I want you to come into class, learn a lot of cool stuff, and then go out into the world and live your life. Okay, so like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me. And now I'm going to go and represent the play as we put on Bright Star for the first time tonight. All right, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Ms. Adelizi. Next up from the science department to talk about her elective environmental science, the incredibly gifted Mrs. Wallace.
What a great introduction. Well, thank you, Mr. Stratton. And thank you, everybody, for letting me jump from 21 to 2 so I could go get my son to dance class later. So I do appreciate that. So hi guys. Like Mr. Stratton said, my name is Mrs. Wallace. I teach both AP Environmental Science and CP Environmental Science, and that's what we're going to talk about right now is the CP. It is a college prep level class, but it really is a wonderful class. And the thing that is great about environmental science is it's incredibly relevant. It is everything that is going on in your life around you now. In this class, we don't talk about, but next year especially, we're switching the curriculum a little bit. So we're not going to be talking about, the predator and the prey and all that stuff you've had before. It's all about human population, global warming, climate change, energy. It's everything that is in the news today. You open up the paper and it is incredibly relevant. This is the one thing I love about this class is every video and documentary that I show you have been produced within the last 2 years. I'm showing a new documentary starting on Friday that just came out 2 months ago. So you can't get more relevant than that. So it's a kind of class that it's interesting in a lot of different ways because you can't get away from environmental science. It's part of politics. It's part of marketing. It's part of business. It's part of hospitality business. So even if you're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do with environmental science. I want to do this or that. It's around you. Everybody is talking about going green and being plant-based diet, and you learn about things that are relevant to your life. Why we need to cut out meat. Okay, guys, why we need meatless Mondays, why we need to look at alternative energy sources, why we need to take a step back as a developed country and what's really going on in the countries, developing countries around us. So again, it's interesting. It's not an incredibly heavy workload because it's not like chemistry or physics where it's a lot of memorization. It's a lot of just general understanding of what's going on around you. So I encourage you guys to think about it as an elective because it makes you a better citizen. It makes you a better person. It makes you a better human to know and appreciate what's going on around you. Okay. So if you have any questions, come find me. I'm in A16, tucked in by guidance in my little back cave over by the art classes. And if you have any questions, just come on in and stop in and we can talk. That's it. And I don't know who's. Oh, I turned it off to you, Miss Star.
Thank you very much. The reason we decided to have this format for this Wednesday Night Live is we are in the process of scheduling right now. And when we schedule students, every point in time when we get past the academic electives and we get to, okay, you have 2 spots left in your schedule to fill up, we need to talk about some electives. What are you interested in? And most of the time we get, I don't know, what are the electives? That's why we want to do this program, because we want to inform our student population and their families what the electives are that we offer and a little bit about description to help us decide if it's something that may be for us. So that will segue into our next speaker, who is a guidance counselor, a woman who needs no introduction. Mrs. Starr is going to talk about the Personal Finance Online program. Mrs. Starr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stratton. And Mrs. Heaton, if you wouldn't mind, if you have that PowerPoint slide just to pull up, just as a reference for everyone to see. But I will start talking about personal finance option 2. So personal finance is a graduation requirement, but because we have the option 2, which is an online, you can decide between that or taking the class here at South, which is what you're going to hear about after May. So as far as the online goes, it is available to both juniors and seniors. There is an application that does have to be filled out. It is available in our guidance office, or you can email me and I'd be glad to send it to you. The GPA requirement for applying for option 2 is going to be a 3.0 GPA. Now, whether you take the class in the building or you decide to go for the option 2, it is going to be a semester course. I advise that if you would like to apply for option 2, that you plan to take it over the first semester, because if you take it over the first semester, it affords you the summertime as well. You will have your login to the course for the first day of summer. If you would like to set up a plan for yourself and get the entire course done over the summer, you can do that. And if you get it done by the first deadline that we give you in September, then you can take the final exam at that point. If you're not done with the coursework, then you still will have until the final deadline in January to complete it. The course itself, it's made up of a pre-test, 37 modules, a post-test, and as I said, there's a final exam then you have to take in the building with us. So the big difference is, with this being an online course, the way this is different from your remote classes this year is that your remote classes this year were being led by a teacher. It was a class that you would have at South, but because of the circumstances, it was then done virtually. This is completely an online course. So there is no teacher instructing you. There's no teacher guiding you through it. It is completely self-paced, and you have to get yourself through your lessons on your own. It is pass or fail. So any course that's pass or fail, it does not get factored into the GPA. So it is going to be pass or fail. The positive thing about taking option 2 is that it does not take up a period on your schedule. So if you have most of your requirements already met, you've already done your art or music, you've done your life and careers requirement, and you really want to take an academic elective next year, this will allow you to do that, because now you're not taking personal finance in the building and then having to pick another half year class to go with it. It doesn't take up a period on your schedule because you're doing it on your own time. Okay, so that's a nice benefit to it. I would encourage you that if you are at all considering doing option 2 and applying for it, is to check out, there is a free demo on the website. You'll see on the slide here, it says www.moneyskill.org. And when you go on there, there's a tab that says try a money skill demo. Click on that and it'll actually walk you through a lesson. So that way you can see how it's going to be presented. And if you have any questions, my email is listed right there. Like I said, you can pick up the application and guidance, or you are welcome to email me and I will send it right back to you. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Stratton.
Thank you very much. That's a very popular class with us because many of the students like to have it completed over the summer. So when they get back in September, they take the final exam and they have 2.5 credits before the year even starts. We do offer personal finance in school. That is the financial literacy equivalent of 2.5 credits and meets the state requirement. We also offer career exploration, which is another 2.5 credit half-year course. And we are very fortunate to have our first student guest, Cassidy Caulfield, is going to tell us about those 2 courses. We're very excited to have Cassidy with us tonight. Cassidy, the show is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Cassidy Caulfield. I am currently enrolled in personal finance this year as a hybrid student and took career exploration during the first semester. Throughout these courses, we have covered content such as budgeting, balancing debt, the concept of interest, taxes, banking, and buying high-ticket items such as a house or a car. As stated by Ms. Starr, during this class, we are taught through teacher-guided discussions, case studies, current events, and interactive examples. I believe these topics help prepare students for the real world and help them fully grasp what life is like. I have learned how to properly manage my money and recognize the interest I am paying throughout this course, and fully believe these classes should remain as graduation requirements as they develop real-world skills within students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Cassidy. Tremendous job. That's one of the things we like about Wednesday Night Live. We try to give the students some ownership of this program, and they do not disappoint. Every time we have a student on here presenting, it's an outstanding performance, and it really hits home. I mean, they're the ones that are taking these courses, and they can give you their insight to what they perceive those courses to be, and that was a great start for us. Next, we are very fortunate to have Mr. Gold with us, who is going to speak about the principles of accounting 1 and 2. Mr. Gold.
Hello, I'm Mr. Gold. Accounting is a class that anyone interested in the business world or planning on opening up or running a business in their future or going to college for any business-related majors should think about taking. It is a CP level class, just like a lot of others, but I have had many students walk out of my class with very useful and meaningful information for life and college. We cover just about everything that you will see your first semester to a year in an accounting class that you will take in college. The only difference is that I treat it very laid back. There's no homework, no tests, just daily and weekly assignments that we do together or on your own, and projects. We also take a break from normal accounting and to cover taxes. We spend about like 3 weeks to a month on taxes, how they work, where taxes go, and how to file their own basic tax returns. I had students come back to me and say that they've been filing their taxes ever since they took my class. That's pretty much all we cover. That's about it.
Thank you, Mr. Gold. Next, we have 2 student representatives, actually recommended by Mr. Gold. They're going to speak about two of the courses that he teaches, as well as some of the other instructors. First up, we have Valerie Sherman. She's going to speak about multimedia. Valerie, you're up.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I wanted to talk about multimedia, how it brings. I've taken multimedia first 2 semesters. It was honestly one of the best classes I could have taken as a freshman. I honestly, it brought out my creativity and my honor to do business. I want to create my own restaurant, and how I wanted to do it was manage like the creativity part of it. And honestly, I enjoy every part of it. It was fun. And yeah, thank you for having me again.
Thank you very much. And next up, we have someone that Valerie knows very well. It's Veronica Sherman, who's going to talk about web page design. Veronica?
Hi, I am Veronica Sherman. Can I just start off saying that Mr. Gold is one of I have like 7 teachers, so he's like top number 7. No, I'm just kidding. He's number 1. He does a really great job at what he does. I love web page design so far. I'm still taking that course. So far, I think it is really, really easy. It might get harder during like quarter 4, but I really love it, and I think other people should take it because it's like he teaches you in case you need to know these things when you're older. And it's just oh my God, sorry. It's a little hard, but also very easy. He does give us step-by-step directions. That is my favorite part because it does take a while to do. I also love how he keeps us in separate folders so we can have it in one spot so we don't lose it. But I really love web page design, and Mr. Gold is doing a fantastic job of what he's doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Valerie and Veronica, for your insight. Next up, we have our first duo. We're going to have Mr. Zanker, who is a marketing teacher and one of the leaders of our business academy. He's going to talk about the teacher's perspective of marketing. And then we have Brooke Kane, who's a student in the marketing class, who will give the student's perspective. We'll start with Mr. Zanker.
Well, I really think that we should listen to Brooke on this because, I'm here to listen to all these other classes. In fact, I'm ready to take some of these classes. These are just amazing classes. So, Brooke, why don't you take this? I have a feeling you're ready for it.
Okay. I'm Brooke Kane, and thank you for having me. So I'm currently enrolled in Marketing 1, and it is a full-year elective, and it includes teacher-guided instruction, class discussions, and case studies. And we discuss a lot of different things to learn you need to know about marketing, and it helps you for the future. And the majority of the class is project-based assignments. So you have a lot of different projects, and you have a few days to do it. And it really helps me work on my time to budget my time wisely and to get assignments in on time.
Thank you, Brooke. That was Marketing 1. That's one of our more popular electives. We have many sections of that. Next up, we'd like to talk about principles of law, and we're very fortunate to have a highly recommended speaker with us this evening, a student of ours, Chelsea V. Chelsea, you're on talking about principles of law.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chelsea Veith. I'm a senior here at South, and last year I took the course Principles of Law. This course is mainly about business law and how law works within the business world. I took this class last year because I originally wanted to go in the law or business field. Although that has changed now, I still highly recommend this class if you are interested in those two fields. Even if you are not planning on going to law school or into the business world, I still highly recommend this course. It was super interesting to learn about how law works in different areas. This class is not difficult and was super easy to manage while taking other honors and AP classes. We rarely had homework, and when we did, it was either assignments that we had to finish up from the class we took or filling out vocab. There are no presentations, so if you're like scared of public speaking, like this is definitely a class you should take. Once again, course is super interesting and engaging, and has definitely been one of my favorite electives I've taken in high school. So you should definitely consider taking Principles of Law. Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea, very much. Next up, we have Mr. DeMario. He is going to talk about several of his classes. He has architectural design, creative design technology, intro to engineering design, and much, much more. Mr. DeMario, you're on.
Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, I thought this was going to be super serious, so I put together a presentation. I'll only be about a half hour. Hope that's okay. The courses that I'm focusing on are the 3 that are in larger type. We also have digital design courses in the same area. At South, the teachers that teach this are really awesome. They're all me. I won't really go through my whole background too much because we don't have that much time. But again, I thought this was going to be serious, so I put some things together. Engineering, some of what we'll be doing. A couple of the main things, computer-aided design and drafting techniques. If any of you are going to be getting into either engineering or architecture or graphic design, it's a good class for you because we'll be doing some of the things that you'll need to know about when you go into those fields. Modeling, a big thing. I'll show you a couple examples in a second. I won't spend too much time, but it's a very interesting and those are not exciting. These are some of the not exciting things. But some of the more exciting things are once you get into the advanced levels of this, you'll be doing things like 3D modeling on the computer, as well as modeling off the computer. We have 3D printers. We also have laser cutters and laser engravers that you'll be using as part of those courses. So you'll be able to make some interesting things. One of the things we made were hinges. I don't know if everybody can tell what that is. We made hinges in those classes. So these actually work. You can put them together and they swivel back and forth like a regular door hinge. The infamous bridges, which most of you probably did in your physics class, we'll do it from a different perspective, more from the building perspective than the math and science perspective. So you'll have some fun with that. We also have some fun equipment where we can crush them and make them explode. So you'll certainly enjoy that as well. Architectural design, there's a broad range of things we'll learn in that. For those of you who are interested in that for the future, it certainly will keep you going. You'll learn a lot in the course. I've had a number of students go on to do this in their future. For those of you who aren't sure, or you think you're just going to go into construction or something like that, you'll learn a lot of techniques that relate to that. And you'll be doing things like building. Not on a full-scale level, but certainly on a model level. And of course, hopefully it's fun for some of you. Conceptual designs, the idea of what things should look like. That's some of what we'll be doing. This was supposed to be a hotel, and it looks kind of like a hotel, but it's not a perfect representation. And then creative design. This is a course that encompasses a bunch of areas. Again, it goes over some of the things that I talked about a few minutes ago. Engineering, it really gets into the more advanced levels of computer-aided design. It does do graphic design. I think I missed putting that in this slide, but graphic design, for anybody who leans more toward the art side, this really is the course for you. You'll get into a bunch of more of the commercial side of those areas in this course. And some of the fun things they do in there, designing and building surfboards, snowboards, airplanes, Aviation engineering is what we try to get into. And we have our, if it comes up. Nice, right? So that's, what does it lead to? Obviously, for some of you, these are some of the fields you can end up in, or at least at the college level, you can go into these areas. So I'll be here for a while. If you have any questions, hopefully I didn't take too long. And I was happy to be here with you.
Thank you very much, Mr. DeMario. That was very informative. There's a lot of people with the verbiage and the names of your courses that don't really understand what makes them up, and that was a great help. And I think that's going to help some of our students when they watch that program have a good idea of what it entails. So thank you. Next up, we have a student speaker who's going to talk about one of our most popular electives. That's art appreciation. And speaking about art appreciation is Yeremia Vasquez.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. And I'm going to talk about art appreciation. That is one of the best classes I have ever been. Right now, we're doing clay and making objects. And I love that class. Miss Hunkley, she's like the best teacher. She is really talkative. Like she communicates back and forth. She is always there. And I recommend this class. Like this class is like the best for if anyone that likes to be talkative and likes to joke around. She's one of the best teachers to have. And I really don't have anything else to say, but I recommend that class. If you really love art, I love art too, but I'm really more like into web stuff and like technology. But yeah, I recommend this class, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much for that insight. We are heading into the visual performing arts department, and right now we have some of our bigwigs coming up. Next to talk about the band levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have Mrs. Lawrence and one of her students, Christopher Perillo. Mrs. Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Stratton. Hi, I'm Mrs. Lawrence. I am one of the band directors here at High School South. The other band director, Mr. Tess, couldn't be here tonight because he is helping out with the musical, kind of what Mrs. Adelizi was doing. So really quick, because there is a lot that goes on with the band program. Probably the best thing that I could say, and I know Chris is probably going to say the same thing, it's a family. These kids do everything together year round. We do get started in the summer because marching band, or at least a portion of marching band, is curricular in high school. So you will be responsible for football games and parades as well as concert band. So we do get started with learning all the Old Indian Tom and the banner and everything we need for our football games. And then we perform at all of those great functions in Toms River, of course, for our Hitting Indians and the Halloween parade. And we also get into concert season, where we do 2 concerts a year, one in December and one in May. And in addition to concert band, we have all kinds of smaller ensembles, including our award-winning jazz band, Maroon Fusion. We have smaller ensembles like clarinet choir, flute choir, brass ensemble. And I think one of the really neat things about our program is we really get to know each other, the students and the teachers, because usually once they get into band, they don't get out. They stay in because it really is like having a family. So we get to know each other really well over 4 years, and they get to experience a lot of different things. In non-COVID times, every other year, we usually take a trip. Our last trip in 2019 was to Disney World, so we're hopefully planning for 2023. We don't have any ideas or anything yet, but here's hoping, you know, the pandemic swings in the opposite direction and we can start getting back to some of the things that we do on the daily, from marching the halls to our pep rallies to just really bringing the spirit to South. So I'm going to stop talking because Chris is probably going to say a lot more really awesome things that I forgot about. So here is one of our senior trumpet players. He was our trumpet section leader for this year, super dedicated to the program. This is Chris Perillo.
Hi everyone. Hope we're doing good. Yeah, I've been in the band for 4 years now. I've done just about everything there is to do. I've been in the concert band, which is the class itself. I've done marching band. I've done jazz band. I've been in the pit for the school play. I was able to do that last year for Damn Yankees. Unfortunately, couldn't do that again this year though. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great course to take if you're interested in instrumental arts. People are there to help you all the time. The directors and your peers, they're always wishing to see you thrive, to be your best self. I cannot stress this enough. Freshman year me would not have recommended this course like I am now. Definitely not. Freshman year me would be like, I would like not even know what band is. I swear. This course has given me the opportunity to pursue my dreams and to become a composer. I want to just pursue music. That's what I want to do. And I would not have thought about this at all if it wasn't for this course. I've done honors ensembles. I've just gone the extra mile, and I would have never done that if it wasn't for this course, my directors, my peers. I've made a lot of great friends from taking band. This is one of the greatest courses I've ever had. All right. Well, I don't really have too much else. I think I took everybody's hearts away with that one. So, all right, I'm just going to hand this back to you, Mr. Stratton.
Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it. Next up, we have the man himself, Mr. Martin, who assisted in putting Toms River High School South choir and chorus on the map with his big holiday win last year that riveted the school. He's going to talk to you about his chorus program, but probably most importantly, we do have 3 new classes that we are offering as half-year electives, and we're very, very excited about them. And he is going to be the instructor. He's writing the curriculum, so he's going to introduce these 3 new classes to you. So I'm very excited to hear him as well. Mr. Martin, the floor is yours.
All right, go South. How's everything going, Mr. Stratton? All right. He mentioned it exactly right on the nail. We have 3 new courses coming because we have to replace some older courses. We love those courses. History of Rock and Roll. Mrs. Lawrence will tell you she loves those courses too. But we're transforming them into something brand new. We're going to take those courses and kind of inject some technology into them. We're going to have Songwriting 1. You can take that and you can move on to Songwriting 2, which, to me, my 17-year-old brain is going, yeah, that's awesome. And then we also have music technology. We're going to be able to use the Chromebooks and programs on the Chromebooks to put together music, maybe rip music apart, all different kinds of things. It's all being written right now, and there's new ideas all the time. So I'm super excited about it. I know Mrs. Lawrence is super excited about it, and Mr. Tess, the entire music program is. As far as the choir goes, choir and band are giants in this area. I think it is. You get into it, and it's not a class; it's a family. Everybody around you. I think Chris will tell you that when you look around the room in the band or in the choir, that they are your brothers and your sisters in music. That we go places together, we live life together, we uplift each other, we pick each other up, and we do crazy, insane things. And you get a grade for all of it. That's the crazy part. You are living a life that you wouldn't normally get to live, and with other people around you that support you. And especially with all this craziness going on, what better time to introduce yourself into a group of people that just will go on a journey with you. As Mr. Stratton said before, the band and the choir, we go out, we win awards, but it's not about the awards. The choir goes on the radio. We compete live on the radio on competitions. We do all kinds of crazy stuff. And we would love to have you in the music program, every single one of you. So don't count us out, because we might come looking for you. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Again, our visual performing arts department does an outstanding job. It's very popular, and we are really excited about these 3 new classes. We expect a lot of people to pick them as their electives, to learn how to write songs, and to get involved with the state-of-the-art technology that is part of music nowadays. So it really is exciting, and we hope to get a lot of people into those programs. And again, they're half-year courses. And next up for the visual performing arts program, we have our orchestra instructor, Mr. Warren. He's going to talk to us about orchestra 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mr. Warren?
Hey, how you doing, everyone? I'm Mr. Warren. I'm the new orchestra director this year. Heck of a year to start. But I'm very excited for next year and for the future of our of the orchestra. Toms River Orchestra is a unique and awesome venture because we combine the orchestra with all 3 schools in Toms River, which means you are automatically a part of a orchestra ensemble of 100+ students every year, always over 100 kids, which is quite an exciting experience to play with that many people and play on a stage with that many fellow musicians. But within that, when we rehearse by ourselves at South, just like the other performance ensemble said, it does develop very much of a family feeling. It's very exciting. Next year, we plan on doing tentatively all of the concerts that we normally would do, which would be playing back to school night. We do a Halloween concert with a safe trick or treat. We do a winter concert around the holidays at Greenbrier Retirement Community, which is cool to play out of the schools and play for the community and give back to them a little bit that way. And then we do our big spring concert. And we also get to do when you do orchestra, and the same thing actually goes for band as well, but when you do that, you can stay in orchestra for all 4 years, and then when you do your 3rd year, you get to, the course takes a slight change towards a career to fulfill some career requirements, which we take the year to kind of explore some the different careers and things that you can do within the performing arts and in and around musicians and all performance venues and all that kind of stuff, which is a cool and exciting thing as well. So it's a lot of fun. So please come join us, play, and that's all I got. Thank you so much, Mr. Stratton.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Appreciate it. That concludes our visual performing practical arts department. Next up, we have someone new to High School South. She was housed at another high school, not nearly as good as ours, but we are happy to have her with us now. Our CAP and co-op coordinator, Miss Tesoro, and she has students Sean O'Neill and Brenda Wilson who are going to speak about those programs. Miss Tesoro, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Stratton. And I just looked through our participant list on the chat. I believe Brenda wasn't able to make it, but we have John Edwards here, as well as Sean O'Neill, okay? Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And as Mr. Stratton mentioned, I might not be from one of the better schools, but I am happy to be part of High School South. This is my first year as a coordinator. A very challenging year to take over during COVID, but I've met some wonderful, wonderful staff and students, especially at High School South. I love my South kids. The co-op program is a program that you could earn 15 credits for. You would get to leave school early and you would go to your job, which you're obviously paid for, and you would get credit. It's a work-based learning experience. I would come out and visit you on the job, like do a worksite observation, see how things are going. You would be evaluated by your supervisor, and that would become part of your grade. Most kids really like it that are in the co-op program that I have this year because they're getting to work, they're getting to learn right on the spot, and they're making money. So that's a really great thing. They meet with me once a week. We talk about their work experiences. They provide me with their pay stubs. So I have state reports I have to do. And so far, so good. Hopefully next year, I'll have some more co-op students from High School South. The CAP program, that's another great program that I'm actually in love with because it's an opportunity to really get involved in the community. It's a 10 credit program. Students do get dismissed early. We meet once a week as well. Students fill out an application. They express where they would like to be placed. It's like an internship. So if they have a career interest or think they're going to pursue their education in a certain field, whether it's law enforcement, physical therapy, medical, that, the list goes on and on. This year I have students placed like at the prosecutor's office, the police department, sheriff's office, a veterinarian's office, physical therapy office, a couple other placements that I'm probably leaving out right now because I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry. It's been a little challenging this year, honestly, to make CAP placements because of COVID, but I foresee things getting better for next year. And also I'll be working and here over the summer, I would hope and plan to be, so that I can get all those placements done like over the summer so that kids will be able to start right in the beginning of September. Great experience. Like I said, kids gain confidence because they're out there. They're shadowing, they're actually doing things. Actually, I want to let John and Sean talk a little bit, if that's okay, so that they can share what their experiences have been like.
Hey, I'm Sean O'Neill. I'm a senior at South. I want to say thank you for having me. And just to get into it, I think the CAP program is great if you're someone who doesn't really like sitting in a classroom and rather do something that you might use or something that you may have an interest in doing in the future. So with my placement, I'm at the Toms River Police Department with my friend Colin Pinnell as well. He's in the program. We did so many things this year that I feel like are going to help me in the future and learn so many different CAP program. We've done things such as observed and took part in the emergency services unit training, which is technically the SWAT team for the police. We've observed the anti-riot forces training and many other things, such as in the office things like working on the computer software they have and filing permits and sitting in on dispatch and many other things. So I think this program is just great if you have an interest and you want to go learn more about it. That's pretty much all I have. John, if you want to talk about it too.
Hello, my name is John Edwards. I am also a senior in High School South. I take part in the CAP program, with my placement being with South Toms River EMS. And honestly, I don't have much to say since everything else was covered, but I highly recommend it, and it's very fun and very useful to get out there in the world.
Thank you, guys. And I think they like me as a teacher too, right? So I think that the South kids are great. We've been having a lot of fun on our meetings. Actually, because we're in virtual, sometimes they go over a little bit, the 30 minutes, because 30 minutes once a week is rough to do. So we find ourselves chit-chatting, during the week. And I think we've gained like a nice little family, there. So if you have any questions at all, please reach out to me. Be happy to meet with you, and anyone that's interested can apply, and I will meet with you personally. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. It's a great program, and a lot of the seniors do enjoy it, and they get great experience. Next up, we're going to talk about one of our favorite academic electives, one of the science classes, anatomy and physiology, and I'm extremely excited to have one of our superstars talk about it, and she has a great feeling for the program herself. Please welcome Haley Fodor, who's going to speak about the anatomy and physiology class. Haley, you're up.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm a junior, and I'm enrolled in anatomy and physiology as a virtual student. The content I've taken away from this class has informed me of the body's functions, bones, muscles, and diseases. The knowledge I have learned is extremely helpful for those who are interested in learning about human anatomy and how the body reacts to certain diseases. I'm excited to learn more in the class as I have the rest of the year, and I hope future students will enjoy as much as I have. The workload is very minimal, and Mr. Fournier does an amazing job at teaching the class itself. I personally find it very interesting, and I think anybody who's interested in the medical field would really enjoy it. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. Appreciate that. Next up, we have one of our math, computer science programming teachers. He's going to speak about one of our programming courses, Intro to Computer Science Programming and Applications. This is also a dual enrollment course. So, Mr. Miller, we're happy to have you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Stratton. It's kind of a hard act to follow after hearing all these good stories from these kids. I want to take some of these classes myself. So I'll do my best here to live up to some of these courses, but I'm a little nervous right now. I teach computer science, and before I even start, hopefully you can see my screen. There's the 3 courses we have. Should have proofread this a little better. But anyway, this comes from our course selection guide. The first 2, the honors and the CP course, are both programming. The honors one's a C++ level course. The CP is a Python language. The AP class will be doing enrollment hopefully at some point in the future, I believe. It's not quite yet. It's not in the guide yet anyway. But just a little backtrack a little bit. Back in high school, my mom made me take 2 classes. One was typing and one was computer programming. Yes, when am I ever going to use this? We all find every day we're using computers for something, whether it's on the cell phone, for work, for learning. It's not going away anytime soon. The better understanding you have of how programs work, the more proficient you can be with the computer and any technology that gets put in your lap. If anybody's planning on going to college for engineering, I know most colleges require you to take programming in college for their program. So getting a head start in high school is also a great reason to take programming to begin with. And I just want to share another screen I have. This is just something. This is a C++, a very, very simple program. It was actually one of the quiz questions for Friday. But this is kind of what we do. We do write programs with a little more depth. And again, by the end of the course, you're not going to be a software engineer by any means, but you'll be on track to be one. A lot of my students, they didn't like computers in high school, but now they have PhDs. They're working for Fortune 500 companies, and they're making a decent paycheck every week. So if you have any questions, again, please never be afraid to ask. And that is all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Appreciate it. He's a usual participant in our Wednesday Night Live program. So thank you once again for showing up. And on that note, I would like to thank all of the teachers and the students who have volunteered their time this evening to give our parents and students an insight to some of the elective programs that they teach. Even myself sitting here, I got a more in-depth knowledge of what it is precisely that they do in the classroom with the curriculum and things of that nature. So, I'm truly very, very pleased with them volunteering and giving their time this evening to share that with you. And, that's why we are who we are. That's why we are South, because we have people that do these things. They go above and beyond. And that's what sets us aside as, one of the best and pushes us ahead of everyone else. And that's my humble opinion. So now we have some instructors who were not able to make it, but they did a 2 to 3 minute short video about their classes. I watched them. They were all very entertaining and very knowledgeable. First up for us is our forensics teacher. This is one of our most popular courses. Anyone that watches television with CSI and all the crime shows, they understand the importance of forensics and forensic engineering and things of that nature. So Mr. Langford, who is our forensics teacher, has a short video. Mrs. Heaton, if you would put that up, we'll watch that and continue on after Mr. Langford.
here tonight to talk to you about forensic science, and I know that we're approaching the end of our program, so I'm going to try to move quickly and hopefully in a single take. What is forensic science? Forensic science is the study of evidence, how it is collected and processed, and how we can draw conclusions from that evidence in order to recreate the timeline that leads up to a crime. In our first marking period, we focus primarily on the collection and processing. In the second and third marking periods, we discuss the specific forms of evidence themselves and how they're used. Things like DNA evidence, fingerprints, handwriting analysis, human remains, ballistics, and so on and so forth. In the fourth marking period, we discuss criminal psychology. We take a look at some very famous cases from history, as well as some ongoing current events. Why should you take forensic science? Forensic science is a class you should take if you've ever been sitting in another science classes and thought to yourself, what am I supposed to do with this knowledge? Of course, we are going to invoke some of the things that you learned in biology, chemistry, or physics, but instead of discussing them in theory, we will be talking about how they are literally used in order to make something happen in the real world. In our case, solve a crime. We're going to be doing some very scientific class type things, doing labs, small group work, demonstrations, but we're also going to be branching out and diversifying a bit. You'll write papers. You'll present information about case studies. You will debate with your classmates about certain issues, and so on and so forth. I hope this is something that's interesting to you, and I hope to see you next year.
That was Mr. Langford, our forensic science teacher, and he's very popular, and it's a very popular class. So that is one of our electives. It also can be taken as a one-year science for your science requirement as well. Next up, we have Mrs. Angona Perry, who is from our English department. She is also our theater arts teacher. She has a short video about the theater arts program. Mrs. Heaton, if you would.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Perry, and I'm here to talk about two electives that I teach. The first one is a senior elective. It's called Humanities. It's a college prep level course. And in this course, you will learn about music, art, theater, dance, philosophy, psychology, history, politics, everything and anything. It's interdisciplinary. It will connect these different subjects and apply them to our world today. And I hope that you would see why they are so important to us and help to make us the human beings that we are. I want to show you very quickly the way the class works, kind of stuff that we do in there. So I grabbed a painting by Picasso. This is Guernica. And many of you probably have seen this in Spanish class. I often have students come in having studied Picasso. So you may even have talked a little bit about Cubism and his work. We'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about the historical elements, the things, the artistic merits of the painting. And we'll certainly talk about, how to approach this, because a lot of people find Picasso a little scary because of the Cubism. They don't know what to do with it. But you can see that it's a scene of chaos, right? This is showing us the aftermath of a war. And so you're looking at a scene of carnage. When we look at the pieces of the painting, and over here, I just want to draw your attention to this profile of a bull, possibly a symbol of Spain, Picasso being a Spanish artist. And then underneath, there's this image of a woman who's holding a baby, and she has her head back and mouth open. The baby does not look alive. And a lot of students think she may be yelling why or no. Certainly she and the baby are casualties of this devastating war. So we talk about this, and I think, scenes of chaos and carnage, we can certainly apply to current events and discuss that kind of thing. And then we do things like this. I brought this little clipping that I had from a newspaper that showed a scene from, it says, Russian widens Georgia invasion, the country of Georgia. And the byline talks about a Georgian woman being comforted by her husband after learning her child was killed in a neighboring village. When I happened to see this in the newspaper, it struck me that the posing was almost identical to the bull and the woman who had lost her child in the painting of Guernica. And certainly this is a coincidence. This was a candid shot. It was not at all, intended to be modeled after Guernica. However, I think what it shows, and the kinds of things we talk about in class, are the thematic connections, the fact that this art stands as a universal display of tragedy and suffering, and how this woman's loss is no different than this woman's loss. And so it brings us to our past and shows us, I think, the importance of, Picasso's, what he was trying to do with his art, and that human element that connects us through time and countries. So that's just an example of what we do. Many units that we cover, just about everything and anything. We work thematically and across time periods, and it's a really interesting class. It really makes you think. So I hope that you're interested in it, and come see me in F1 if you have questions. My second class, elective, that I teach is theater arts, and that's a class that I always say is great fun. It is also college prep, and sophomores, juniors, and seniors are eligible to take it. And in it, you learn a lot about theater. We cover different units. We study some theater history. We study various units like the musical theater. We also study pantomime. We talk about auditioning. We do a voice and diction unit. Outside of theater, it is a great class if you want to learn how to present yourself for college interviews, for job interviews. It helps you to break out of your shell, to learn to use your voice, to speak, and to speak well. Also how to hold yourself. So those are good benefits to it. Another benefit is that we do a lot of collaborative work. So you work with other students, and a lot of friendships are made through the class. So there's some really nice elements to that course. It's also just great fun. We play games as we learn different theatrical techniques. There are always games to sort of get us there. And yeah, it's a great course to just, meet people and to meet yourself in a lot of ways. So if you're interested in that one, or humanities, again, I'm in F1. I'm Mrs. Perry, and thank you for listening. Have a great night.
Thank you, Mrs. Perry, for the insight on your two classes that you have as electives. Next, we have up another member of our English department, Mrs. Wyckoff, who will be speaking about creative writing and speech. Very interesting course. Mrs. Heaton.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Wyckoff. I am the creative writing and speech teacher here at High School South. Sorry I could not be there tonight to talk to you, but I wanted to give you an idea of what to expect in my class. For the first half of the year, we focus on creative writing, where you will be writing poetry and short stories, podcasts, and even delving into perspectives of different characters. Then the second half of the year focuses on public speaking, where you will learn how to cope with the fear of being up in front of a group. You'll learn how to give different types of speeches, informative speeches, how-to speeches, debate, and we'll even work on our passion project throughout the course of the year. So if you're interested in learning more about creative writing and speech, you can reach out to me. My name is Mary Wyckoff. My email address is mwykkoff@trschools.com, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you. You can always stop by room D20 and ask any questions if you are in the building, and I look forward to working with some of you next year. Have a great night.
That was Mrs. Wyckoff from our English department. We have two more short videos, and they are from our art teachers. They're going to talk about the Studio Art 1 and 2 program. We offer Studio Art and Art Appreciation as a first level course. The Art Appreciation is similar to what would be considered an Art 1 class. The Studio Art is considered for students that have a natural ability and desire to become artists and work on their art skills. It's a progressive course with levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. So to speak about Studio Art 1, our Studio Art 1 teacher himself, Mr. Johnson.
Hi everyone, it's Mr. Johnson down here in the art room at High School South. If you are interested in taking your first art course at the Home of the Indians, you have two different options. Studio Art 1 and Art Appreciation. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the difference between those two art courses. If you have never taken an art class before, or you are just looking to fulfill your arts graduation requirement, then Art Appreciation is the course for you. That is the general basic introductory level art course that we offer that is open to all students. No experience is necessary. Sign up, come on into the art room. In Art Appreciation, you'll learn a little bit about art history, famous artists. You'll make hands-on projects that are inspired by the works of those artists. And it's made for the beginner, right? For everybody. If you have art experience, or you really love art, or you'd like to continue on in our art department, then you should take Studio Art 1 as your beginning level course. Although Art Appreciation and Studio Art 1 are both introductory level courses, Studio Art 1 is aimed at students who really want to improve their artistic skills. We focus a lot more on drawing techniques and painting techniques and portraiture and drawing objects and how to really refine those artworks. It's definitely the more difficult beginning level class. Although you certainly don't need any experience to take the course, and we'll teach you whatever you need. Studio Art 1 is aimed for students who really want to push themselves to create better quality artwork. So although we do still learn about famous artists, and some art history, this is really a hands-on studio class meant for students who then want to move on to take Studio Art 2 and Studio Art 3 in the future. If you make art on your own or you have a lot of art experience, then Studio Art 1 is where you should start. If you don't, have that art experience, if you want to just take your art class to get your requirements, take Art Appreciation. And if you find that you really enjoy it and you like that class, then you can move on to take Studio Art 1 the following year. We make a lot of really great projects down here, including drawings, paintings, sculptures, printmaking, and collage. So there is something for everybody. But we do take our classes very seriously, and you are expected to attend class every day and participate and work hard on your art. Although you are not graded on your artistic ability in either of these classes, you are graded on your effort and your participation. So you need to work on projects every single day and you'll be successful. If you have other questions, please don't hesitate to see one of our awesome art teachers, either myself, Mrs. Rulon, or Mrs. Hunkley, and we can talk to you about art courses that you can take.
Thank you. That was Mr. Johnson. And again, Art Appreciation is probably our most popular elective, but the studio art also is a way to go if you are artistic in nature. Next up is the other art teacher, Mrs. Rulon, who's going to speak about Studio Art 2, and then we're going to open the floor for our Q&A period.
Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. Rulon, and I teach Studio Art 2. So Art 2 is an elective course. It is not a graduation requirement. Art 2 is usually taken after taking a year of Art Appreciation or Studio Art 1. And basically this class builds upon previously learned, ideas from the Art 1 classes, such as elements of art and principles of design. And usually Art 2 should be taken by students who plan on continuing to take art all throughout high school, like moving on to Art 3 and Art 4 and possibly even AP Art. It's also geared towards those students who plan on pursuing a career in the arts or, planning to study art in college. So students will learn all types of new art forms in this class, such as acrylic painting. My Art 2 classes are doing that right now. We do silkscreen printing, where we create designs that get printed on a t-shirt. This is something that kind of builds upon our printmaking unit that we did in Art 1. And we also do more sculpting with clay in this class. So Art 2 is a really fun class, but it does require a lot of time and dedication. As far as grading goes, projects are usually worth 500 points, in a normal school year. this year and last year, it's been a little bit different the way we work these classes. But normally a project in Art 2 could take anywhere from 2 weeks up to like 4 weeks of work. So the grading for those assignments is very heavy. But, it's all we do in class, is work on the same project for a couple weeks on end. And so that's why the point value is so high. We also have a sketchbook assignment that is assigned every single week with a specific topic. And each one is worth 100 points. And we also have daily participation grades as well. So some examples from virtual learning from last year that students did that were super nice. And then these are projects that we normally would do in Art 2. These are all ceramic projects. We normally do a ceramic food sculpture in this class, which is super fun. And then we usually start off the year with a still life drawing, and we always use candy for those in the beginning of the year. As it's right before Halloween, of course, we do the Halloween paintings in this class, like all other art classes. And then these are some of the other like really cool different projects that we do in Art 2 that, are unique to this class, such as the acrylic painting, which is the one with the whales. And then the one to the right is a silk screen print on a t-shirt. So this is a really super fun class. And if you guys have any questions about Art 2, you can feel free to email me or come stop by my classroom. I'm in A18 and my email is lruhlin, RUHLIN @trschools.com. Have a great night, everybody.
Okay, well, that concludes our program of the description and lecture with regard to our elective classes by teachers and students. So now I'd like to take this opportunity, if any of the people that are with us viewing this program have any questions about any of your electives, now would be the time to ask. You can either raise your hand or you can type your question in the chat box. So if you have any questions, now would be the time. Please type them in and we will try to answer them as best we can.
Question in the chat. On Parent Portal, is the CAP program called Community Action under the 21st Century Life Careers tab?
That's correct. It's either 2246 or 2247 based on the amount of credits. The 2246 is a 5-credit course and the 2247 is the 10-credit CAP course, which Ms. Tesoro was speaking about, where they leave school early to go and do an internship. Was that good, Ms. Tesoro?
That was great, Mr. Stratton. Thank you.
All right. Anything else in the chat box, Mrs. Heaton?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll keep the floor open for another minute and see if we have any questions. Again, this program was recorded, so if you know someone that was not able to attend, they can view it tomorrow. Mr. Gold is also our web page developer, so he will put it on the High School South homepage, and you will have access to viewing it again, or someone that was not here can have access to view it again.
Have another question. What's the difference between the CAP program and co-op?
I'm going to let Mr. Sorrell take that one.
Okay. The CAP program, they're volunteering their time. I would place them with a sponsor where they're interested in pursuing their career or education. That would be for 6 hours a week that they would need to volunteer for. So that's unpaid. So it's like an internship almost. Whereas the co-op program, that's 15 credits. They actually go to a job that they're responsible for getting on their own, and I would go out and observe them. So the big difference is, besides getting more credits for co-op, we have students who work, all over different places, from ShopRite to Wawa to like just all different kinds of places. Home Depot was another job site this year. But with CAP, they're getting credit and they're involved in the community and furthering themselves for college. Hope that answered the question.
Thank you. I cleared it up, I'm sure. Anything else in the chat box, Mrs. Eaton?
No, there is not.
Okay. Okay, without any further ado then, if you do have a question and you're watching this on record, you can email the guidance department. All of our email is on the guidance page in the High School South webpage. Just email us and we will try to find out the answer for you if you have any questions on the electives. I'd like to thank our panel this evening. It was an outstanding panel, very informative and very energetic. It was a pleasure to listen to all the presentations from the staff and our heartbeat of the school community, our students, who we are very proud of, and we do appreciate it. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much for volunteering your time, everyone. Have a great evening, and go have a piece of pizza. You all earned it.
There's one more question.
Yeah.
There's one more question in the chat.
Oh,
Yes,
Mrs.
there is. Yep.
Go ahead.
Is it correct that Academy students do not have time in their schedule for electives unless they give up lunch?
The first year, that would be a true statement because they have to take the 1 year of world language to meet the graduation requirements. After that, it gets a little bit more delicate, but then again, your number one elective is your Business Academy class. And as years go on, you are required to take less and less electives, so you may have more opportunity in your schedule. But again, each of those schedules are unique, but that is a fairly accurate statement. It is very difficult to schedule other electives in the early years of the academy program. Anything else?
No, there's nothing else.
Okay. No, all good questions. And I hope you guys got the answers that assisted you. And again, if not, contact us in the guidance office and we'll be happy to assist you. Again, panel, thank you so much. I appreciate all you did. You did an outstanding job. And that's what South's about. You know, we all, we do what we have to do and we love what we do. And, we all present doing an outstanding job. So thank you so much for being part of this phenomenal program, Wednesday Night Live, that's up for a few Emmys from what I understand. But again, thank you very much for being a part of it. And we'll see you next week.
Have a great evening.
Yep. Next week, Wednesday Night Live is going to be a tutorial on College Board, college search engines, mainly for freshmen and sophomores, along with SAT prep and information for the juniors. So if you're available next week, we hope to see you again on Wednesday Night Live. Thank you very much, panel. Have a great night. I appreciate it. Good evening. Okay, Mrs. Eaton, let me know when everyone